My name is Thurgasini and my matric number is 01 DKB23F1 007. Today I would like to talk about what is negotiation. To simply say what is the negotiation means is a process in which two or more parties communicate and bargain to reach a mutual agreement or resolve a conflict. So when it comes to human resource management, what it means, negotiation refers to a process through which employees or their representatives, like labor unions, discuss and agree on work-related matters to reach a mutually acceptable outcome. Negotiation is essential in creating fair, transparent, and productive workplace relationships. It can be formal, like collective bargaining with unions, or informal, such as individual employee discussing a raise or flexible schedule with their manager. Now I would like to discuss about few types of negotiation in human resource management. First and foremost, salaries and wages. Discussions about base pay, overtime rates, raises and bonuses. Secondly, about employee benefits. If negotiation may cover health insurance, retirement plans, paid leave and other perks. Then, working conditions includes work hours, safety measures, work environment, and remote or flexible work options. Then, job roles and responsibilities, clarifying duties, workload expectations, and reporting structures. Then, furthermore, conflict resolution, procedures for handling grievances and complaints and disciplinary actions. Lastly, employment contracts, terms of employment such as duration, probation period, termination clauses, and confidentiality agreements. Now we have chosen the case related to negotiation about Goodyear Malaysian Berhad is a subsidiary of US-based Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, one of the world's leading tire manufacturer operating in Malaysia since 1929 with a major production plant in Shala. This company has a recognized employees union and terms of employment for local workers are governed by a collective agreement (CA) negotiated between the company and the union. Goodyear Malaysia employed foreign workers mainly from Nepal, Myanmar and India under separate contracts, and these workers were not part of the union. In 2021, 65 foreign workers filed a case alleging they were unfairly denied CA benefits like shift allowance, annual bonuses, and wage increments benefits received by local unionized employees. The workers claimed discrimination based on nationality, arguing that all employees should receive equal treatment under Malaysian labour law, regardless of union membership or origin.
Hello everyone, my name is Arittira and my metric number is 01DKB23F1031. Today I will be presenting a real world example of an industrial dispute that took place in Malaysia involving a major multinational company which is Goodyear Malaysia Berhad. This case highlights key issues in labor rights and the importance of fair treatment in the workplace. To begin with that, Goodyear is a global tire manufacturing company with operations in Malaysia. In 2021, the company was involved in a legal dispute with a group of 65 foreign workers from Nepal, India, and Myanmar. These workers were employed at the company's production facility in Shah Alam, Selangor. The core of the dispute centered on claims by the foreign workers that they were not being treated equally to their Malaysian colleagues. Specifically, they specifically that they were denied basic employment benefits that were promised under Goodyear's collective agreement or CA with its labor union. These benefits include annual bonus and pay increments. Although the collective agreement had been successfully negotiated between the company and the union representing local employees, the foreign workers said they were excluded from receiving the same entitlements. This sparked a strong outcry from the affected workers who felt they were being discriminated against solely based on their nationality. To make matters more serious, the workers claimed they were performing the same duties as their local counterparts but were being treated unfairly in terms of compensation and recognition. This situation raised important questions about labor equality and human rights in Malaysia's industrial landscape, especially when it comes to the foreign labor. This brings us to the key industry issue, which is whether foreign workers who are not members of a union are still entitled to the benefits negotiated by that union. In this case, the workers believe that because they were doing the same work, they should be entitled to the same rewards and protections. And with that, let's now move on how the workers respond and the process that follow leading to a major court case. In response to the discrimination they were facing, the 65 foreign workers took formal action. They filed complaints with Malaysia's Industrial Code, an official body that handles labor disputes between employers and employees. Now, it's important to understand that these workers were not members of the National Union of Employees in Companies Manufacturing Rubber Products, which was the union that negotiated the benefits with Goodyear. However, they argued that their exclusion from the agreement violated principles of equality and fairness. Goodyear Malaysia, on the other hand, defended itself by saying that the workers were employed under different contracts and not part of the union. The company's stance was that only union members were eligible to receive the benefits outlined in the collective agreement. The dispute was taken up by the industrial court under the case known as Award number 1154 of 2021. The court carefully examined the facts, reviewed the contracts, and listened to the testimonies from both sides. It also had to interpret labor laws and regulations that govern equal pay and benefits. After several hearings, the industrial court ruled in favor of the workers. The court stated that the principle of equal work for equal pay should apply. Since the foreign workers were performing the same duties as their Malaysian colleagues, they were entitled to the same benefits, regardless of whether they are union members. The court ordered Goodyear Malaysia to pay back the shift allowance, annual bonuses, and salary increments owed to the 65 workers. This decision marked a significant movement in Malaysian labor law, especially regarding the rights of workers in large companies. The process showed the power of Malaysia's industrial relations system to correct injustice and protect vulnerable workers, even though the workers were not unionized, they were able to seek justice through legal means and win. This case teaches us the importance of transparency, guilty, equality, and proper negotiation when it comes to labor management. It also highlights the growing role of courts and government agencies in upholding workers' rights in a globalized labor market. Thank you.
Hi sir, my name is Dhuraga and my matrix number is 01 DKB23F1017. Today I'll be explaining about the settlement of the Goodyear Malaysia Berhad versus the foreign workers case which happened in 2021. So, in this case, the industrial court made two decisions, which is the court ruled in the favor of the foreign workers, stating two things, which is equal treatment, which means foreign workers are entitled to the same benefit as the local employees under the Court of Appeal, even if they are not the union members. This is based on the idea that fundamental labor right cannot be denied based on union membership or nationality. So the second decision is non-discrimination. Employees cannot discriminate against employees based on nationality concerning employees' benefit. So the act of excluding foreign workers from benefits given to local employees was deemed discrimination and unlawful under the Malaysian labor law. The second decision made by the industrial court is the court ordered Goodyear Malaysia to pay the own shift allowance, annual bonuses, and salary increment to the 65 foreign workers to ensure that all employees, regardless of nationality, receive equal treatment in line with the CA provisions. So, as a conclusion, this case underscores the importance of equitability treatment of all employees, regardless of nationality or union membership. It highlights that collective agreements should be applied uniformly to prevent discriminatory practices. Employers must ensure compliance with labor law and uphold fair employment standards to maintain industrial harmony and avoid legal effects.